Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to LA Noire. So we finished the Naked City case, which is odd it's called the Naked City because they actually did cover up the girl this time, so she wasn't ever displayed as naked. She had a towel over her, I guess. Depending on what you mean by naked. Naked actually is a broader term that can refer to many different states of undressed, as opposed to being completely naked, which would refer specifically to no clothing at all. We're seeing more of the flashbacks of the war. We're getting a musical flute number. That fire explosion certainly looked a lot better than the rest of the animation.
The whole company is gone, Hank. The major is dead. We're being overrun. We have to get off of this hill.
That's one of our 50 cows still firing, Cole. The 22nd are still fighting.
So he was the only one that survived.
It's over, Cole. Looks like you're one of the lucky ones.
Goodbye to your friend Hank, Jack.
He was your friend too, Cole. Is this how you're going to leave him? Are you wounded?
Scratch, Kelso.
Well, get up and get out of that fucking hole. Find a stretcher while you're at it so we can get him out of here.
Who's the senior officer here?
I guess that's you, Cole.
You were up here all night?
Yes, sir.
And your command?
Gone, sir.
Sorry to hear that, son. God damn it, we have beaten these bastards back. It's the beginning of the end, and it was one here. You're a goddamn hero, son. What's your name?
Lieutenant Phelps, sir.
I'm recommending you for the Silver Star and promoting you to First Lieutenant.
So he really didn't do anything, and they made him out to be a hero. All he did was survive. Manifest Destiny. Ooh, look at how that game just glitched.
Earl, Phelps. A shooting at the 111 Club.
It was loading the
6232
previous
Hollywood
section
Boulevard.
of the
Sounds like
game.
a homicide beef. Two of the dead guys caught in the crossfire were carrying Army surplus morphine. Get over there before homicide tramples all over the place. We already cleared that up. Judge in Pasadena took the big sleep yesterday. He had a personal stash of 20 cigarettes. Appears we didn't get all of it.
So it feels like there's just an excuse now to bring Vice in here. And honestly, I would have preferred just to have stayed in homicide and done more homicide cases.
Not good. Everyone has their vices. Even you, Phelps.
Yeah, I'm thinking of moving up to a 45.
Now, I don't know if this would just immediately be a better way to do it, but I would like to suggest that you consider if all of the flashbacks to Cole in the war were happening
Need a drink. I got the jitters.
in between conversations as PTSD flashbacks of Cole. Wouldn't that add a little bit more characterization to Cole? That he's this more traumatized war vet than you would think. Usually it doesn't really feel like Cole even cares about people talking about the war, except for the few points where they make special reason to mention it. And he certainly doesn't seem like he's really traumatized at all. So, like, I think that would be better to integrate the flashbacks make the flashbacks actual flashbacks instead of having the
drive.
flashbacks
I need to go
just
over the case notes.
be this storyline element that only the player is seeing as a backstory. I mean, recognize that Cole already knows his own history, so he knows everything we're seeing in the flashbacks. So it's only for our benefit as the player. We've got another street crime. Messed up the last case pretty badly by doing damage. Secret Keepers. Erected 1921.
Detective Phelps, LAPD. What's going on here?
This joker was trying to tail one of our patrons.
I'm a reporter, you idiot. I'm doing a feature for the Examiner, and that patron I was following is a red under investigation by the feds.
Where is he now?
Parking lot. His is the blue Talbot. Say, how about an exclusive when you bring him back?
Shove off. You won't be filing your story today. I'll check this out.
A red, huh? Sneaky bastard. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this.
The Red Scare. Really a hugely long-lasting bad turn of events. Oh, here's where that hidden car was. That still is affecting the United States to this day. And probably will affect it for decades going forward.
LAPD, sir. Can I have a word?
It's the new version
Well, that's an admission of guilt if I ever saw one.
of the Salem
Not
witch
getting away that
hunts,
easily.
where there probably were some people who had some communist leanings, but then the vast majority of people accused of being a communist were actually people working for workers' rights, which still really haven't been made that great in the United
He did
States.
not just do that. It's no good. We need to get closer.
And the theory of communism isn't inherently bad. It's the implementation of it with a fascist dictatorship that had the largest examples of it not succeed or be appealing.
Step on it, huh? Just get me a little closer.
Got it?
I don't know the way. Put your hands in the air.
This is harassment. Understand? My politics are nobody's goddamn business but my own.
And part of the Red Scare certainly only helped solidify the current political outlook of the United States, in which it has two parties that are, for the most part, very, very similar on many, many, many topics. Unlike what you might get in some of the European countries where there are 20 parties, and in each of those parties there are vastly different ideas for the economic system, the governance system, other systems that they'd like to implement. It's a shame I didn't get in all those other cars that were in that parking lot, because that seemed like there was a collection of cars that I hadn't seen before. It's important to point out that although it's not said, the United States is an oligarchy. It is run by rich people and corporations that are pretending to be people, or people that are pretending to be corporations. And it has been for a long time, even pretty much in its foundation. The founding fathers were partially bootleggers who would benefit or suffer the most through colonial rule and taxation. They were rich, influential people, not a people's revolt as you might think, or not normal everyday people, which is probably necessary to have some rich, influential people to succeed at a revolution.
Isn't that the cop
but
who solved the big case in Capitol Building?
it never really stopped that. Stopped being an oligarchy. Even the original way the Constitution was written was specifically made to eliminate influence and power of poor people, to the point where poor people didn't even have the right to vote. You had to be a landowner. You had to own a certain amount of land, which put vast majorities of it, and you also had to be white, and you also had to be a male, so there's certainly tons and tons of people that were left out in the cold. But the part that gets forgotten is the landowner.
You know the way. You can drive.
You have to have money, you have to have influence to matter.
Parker and Green are going toe-to-toe for the top job. There's a change in the wind.
About time.
This wind will be like a tornado, Phelps. Parker's got a puritanical streak. You never know we'll get swept up in a thing like that.
Homicide guys are already inside.
What are we doing here? I got into a bit of a rant.
Back again.
Oh.
We're here about the morphine.
The dead
over by the
judge.
bandstand. You can see what's left of the owner, Eddie McGoldrick, 26, former Marine.
I know Eddie McGoldrick. He was a non-com in my old unit.
I'm sorry to hear that, Cole. Waitress said he recently came into some money and bought the club.
Who are the other Vics?
2 musicians, Biddleston and Bowe. And get this, they used to be in a 4-piece, but the trombone player and the drummer OD'd.
Don't tell me. Lamont and Tyree? We've met the rest of the band.
Now they're a no-piece.
Do you mind if we take a look around?
Be my guest. You might want a word with the hostess, too. I'll keep her company until you're ready.
So, 2 of the people who were in the band, we already saw the other occurrence there, are dead, and we now have a connection back to our friends.
Didn't even try to crack the safe.
Look at all that money. Take some of that. So,
luck, Eddie.
this is...
Okinawa couldn't kill you, but knowing the wrong people in this city.
So this guy got rich on selling drugs. Interesting. There's nothing here. Maybe they're just trying to balance it out for there's our guy stealing some money, I'm sure. Maybe they were just trying to balance it out for the number of times we've seen women dead on the ground. There's a rather lack of bar fights and just arguments and just shootings in general going on.
Just pump the dozen rounds into it. Certainly sends a message.
Yeah, a lot of the deaths here are rather personal ones. And you could have probably, in the homicide cases, had a couple of them be accidents. Like, homicide investigates things that look like murder, and then
civil conversation, we can try again.
this girl doesn't want to talk to him. And cigarettes and alcohol in a club is hardly useful evidence.
Catch all the good ones, Phelps.
Well-maintained, custom case. Someone cared for this instrument.
All seems to be there.
What's that click?
Find anything interesting?
Something's clicking.
Neat trick. The case must have cost more than the trumpet. We should follow up on the musician angle.
And so this is the people that were playing the music in the Blue Room.
Kept his stash close at hand.
Well, at the very least, it seems like he was not using the military morphine.
I think I've seen it all.
So I guess they sometimes played at the Blue Room and sometimes they played here. Kind of gross neck snapping sounds are happening when I twist his neck. Like, these people are shot with an automatic weapon of some sort, probably a Tommy gun. I seriously doubt we're gonna find any evidence.
We have a new source, or is this coming from what's left in circulation?
Why are you putting it back in his pocket? Can't open this door.
Dozen packs to a carton, 100 cartons or more. Looks like a couple of months' supply.
But is there cigarettes in this, or is it morphine? I guess they don't have the animation budget to have him actually open it.
These look brand new. Never fired. Haven't been degreased yet. We could check on the serial numbers.
Is this guy hunting for bear? Look at these things.
They're BARs. You get the odd guy who sneaks one of them home from the war. How did he get 3 of them? Army surplus morphine, Army surplus weapons, Army surplus valors. Sound familiar?
We should get back to the station and check the details of what exactly was lifted from that ship.
just step over them. I'm surprised it actually has an animation to step over the guy instead of just having an invisible wall to make me walk around. This is a bloody mess all around the bar. But all I'm hearing is a bunch of dings, which tells me I've already collected everything. The one thing they never do is they never check the coat checks to see if maybe somebody left their name or their coat. Let's talk to this lady.
Ma'am, I'm Detective Phelps, Administrative Vice Squad.
Welcome to the 111 Club, Detective.
What's left
Feels like
of it?
I've had half the LAPD in here today already.
Any idea who did the shooting?
No idea. It was my day off.
Then
If
what
I'd
are you
been
doing
here,
there?
honey, I'd be full of holes just like the others.
Let's doubt that.
You want to level with me, miss, before we start taking an interest in you?
This place has been on the slide for years. Eddie turns up, buys the club, then we start getting visits from tough guys. Next thing you know, we have the St. Valentine's Day massacre. Are you getting the picture?
So that was the right answer, I guess.
Tell us about Eddie.
Eddie didn't know a thing about running a nightclub. He came into some money and waltzed in and bought the place. The previous owner thought all his Christmases had come at once.
I'm gonna go with truth.
Where do you think you got the money?
My guess was that he was selling the sort of quality product that you don't need to advertise.
Thank you for your help, ma'am.
Eddie was in over his head, but he was a decent boss.
And we're making progress to rank 20. And where is she gonna go? She just goes to that point and stops. Alright. And we don't have anybody to call. Let's look at the map and see if we've got a crime happening.
It'll be something big, right?
Well, I guess we're going to the blue room. So there is actually a
You're behind the
quest
wheel.
that has us go to the blue room. I thought for a second that we weren't ever actually going to have a level in there. Some of this later part of the game is easily forgettable on top of the Black Dahlia lipstick murders. In fact, if I'm going to be honest, I thought that happened a lot closer towards the middle of the game, and then there was a lot less after it. No reason to talk to these people, apparently. This girl shows up again. Everybody shows up.
Take a break, boys.
Shows up after a
We'd
while.
like them to stay, Miss Lickman. We're making inquiries into the recent deaths of 4 musicians.
Since when have the police cared about dead black men?
Good point. We don't. What we care about is 2 tons of Army surplus morphine showing up on the street. If you care about working in this town, you better give me something on Biddleston and Bow, or their knucklehead buddies Tyree and Lamont.
And this is your idea of making inquiries, Untersturmführer?
I've told you 1,000 times about speaking that German gibberish at me, Elsa.
Roy, how about you get a drink while I see to this?
Julio, sit down.
Why antagonize him, Elsa? You know what he's capable of.
Ask your questions, head officer. We have work to do.
Do you know anything about the morphine? Do you know anything about the victims? Let's ask about the victims
My
first.
partner mentioned a couple of names. You recognize them?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Seriously? Lie.
I don't believe you. You knew these men.
And how would you like to prove that, detective?
I don't know why the cops would want to... Why you'd ever want to challenge the police this way. Like... There's only two ways to interact with the police that are right. One is with great hopefulness that you can give them the information they want and that they will leave you alone, and doing it extremely respectfully and extremely in a way that you're kissing their butt, which probably will work if you're pulled over for speeding or something. And then two is if they're questioning you any more than that, or if you're being interviewed for anything besides that, the only way to respond is, I want a lawyer. I'm going quiet. Give me a lawyer, and let your lawyer speak for you. Because there's literally any other approach is not going to be good for you.
You're out of your depth here, detective, and you're asking the wrong questions of the wrong people.
Well, I was wrong there, and I got no information.
People are dying of overdoses. If you know anything about it, you need to tell me.
I can't help you.
A lot of cats are into the thing. There's nothing special about your boys.
Let's doubt.
You can do this the easy way with me, or I can call my partner back over. I can assure you he's a lot less sensitive.
You think your threats frighten me?
Black man don't supply nothing. You think there's a black man in this town holding on to 2 tons of morphine? He'd be dead in a minute. White man supplies, black man buys.
Boys, take 5 minutes, please. I need to have a private word with you, officer.
It's odd.
Why do you ask people to risk talking about a subject that could have them jailed?
Drugs are against the law, Elsa.
You're so full of courage, you have never felt ashamed.
This is getting us nowhere.
Do you think you'll win your war against narcotics?
It's not my war. It's against the law. My job is to prosecute the laws of this city.
Do you think you can stop people from needing drugs, detective?
I'm asking the questions here.
Then why do you come to me with your stupid questions? You know who controls the drugs in this city.
It's not enough to just survive, Elsa. You have to try and make the world a better place.
Brave words. Very noble. But words are just words, Cole Phelps.
She's right. We need to pay a visit to the mixer.
Cullen? Do you know where to find him?
This time of day? You'll find him holding court at the Macambo.
He can wait. There's something I need to be sure of. Give me till tomorrow morning.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Interesting cutscene here. So what's he doing? He's gonna follow her. Which means I've got another follow quest. And I don't know specifically why he's telling her. If he's obsessed with her or what. She's not even that interesting of a character. Like, better written, she might be an interesting character as a moral anchor or a challenger. But since she gets so little lines, not as few lines, however, as the black band members in the back. I get a little sound feedback there telling me I've just been fined for city damage. Or I assume that's what that means.
Move in. I risk losing the trail.
See, that's weird because I was afraid if I got too close I'd get caught, but it wanted me to get closer. So we may find out that she's married with children and she puts on all of this act just trying to struggle. Keep them employed. Or maybe she's widowed with children. And so she's the only one bringing home any money. There's more that can be said and better ways to say it on the war on drugs and how it was certainly mishandled. It never even seemed to care one bit about rehabilitation. Still, it doesn't really. So, if anything, legal prescriptions often turn to so he's sleeping with her. Interesting. Which, during the time, infidelity, being married and sleeping with somebody other than your wife, might have been illegal. So he may very well have broken the law there. And that's a very odd change.
LAPD, we're looking for Mayor Cohen. I believe he has lunch here.
There's not going to be any trouble, is there?
Which table?
Number 3, if you'll follow me.
So, yeah. Nowadays, a lot of people get addicted on prescribed drugs and then move on to illegal drugs when the prescribed drugs stop working. This is a very old-fashioned way of a restaurant. Nobody would really want to eat in a restaurant like this these days.
LAPD. We have some
So dark.
Ricky, how's it hanging?
Fine. Just fine, Roy. I see you brought Iga Beaver along. Hope he's not going to put the shakes on me again.
Cole Phelps, Mickey Cohen.
Good afternoon.
He has manners. Aren't you a little green for this kid?
Meet Johnny Stompanato, Cole. He has the biggest schlong in Hollywood and the smallest gun. Or maybe that's the other way around. I can never quite remember.
You're a funny guy, Roy. Haven't I always said what a funny guy Roy is? How much fun it would be to get together with him sometime.
Poor Johnny. He's the dark, sensitive type. He's a serviceman too, Cole. Johnny was in Okinawa.
You were in the crotch?
6th Marines.
The lieutenant who won the Silver Star up on Sugarloaf. I've heard of you.
Something like that.
All right, have we finished flirting? You got something to discuss, Roy? Or are you going to stand around beating the meat while my lunch gets cold?
We have some questions.
Do I need my lawyer?
Let's see.
Your brother-in-law, Lenny Finkelstein, was selling stolen morphine. He had 1/3 of the shipment.
Old news, kid. I don't know anything about what Lenny was up to.
Yeah, can I prove that as a lie or do I just doubt that?
So I'm supposed to believe that you don't know what happened to the rest of the shipment.
Lenny, God rest his soul, was a moron. He was family, though, and I haven't made a beef about that, so count yourself lucky, kid. The H is a filthy habit. I don't condone it. The simple solution would be to have all the dope fiends put down.
So you don't know where he got the morphine?
Kid, ask a question you might get an answer to.
So that was the right response?
We believe there's a link between a group of Marines and the morphine stolen from the SS Coolidge. One of those Marines was shot to death in a club last night.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Can I prove that? Does the Valor cigarettes prove that? No, I guess I'm just doubting again.
So you haven't heard anything about what happened at the 111 Club?
What can I say, kid? I'm shocked that in the land of opportunity, Uncle Sam's finest feel the need to resort to crime. It's a dangerous business. I can attest to that. I'd recommend they get out of the life. Quickly.
A few
But
Negroes
two
saying
doubts.
goodbye on the sidewalk will never make the papers, Mickey. But we had a judge in Pasadena say adios the other day. Prominent white people popping their clogs makes everyone nervous.
You know dope has never been my thing, Roy. It's always been for schmendricks like Jack D and Jimmy Utley. But I'll ask around and I'll get back to you. Hey, you boys want some lunch? How about a drink?
We'll take a rain check on that. Come on, Cole, we're leaving.
We have to cut that dope. It looks bad with people dying.
We have to get the rest of it. There's no way of watering down the stuff in those little packages. You have to put the squeeze on those guys and get the rest of it.
They don't seem the type to frighten that easy.
We'll see.
What's going on?
That fucking rat Stoker has gone public about Brenda.
Who is Brenda?
Brenda is LA's most famous madam.
And everyone knows it?
Of course everyone knows. Brenda pays her way.
Are we cops or a collection agency?
Whores have been around since the Bible. Our job is to keep it off the street so Joe Citizen and his wife can stroll around unmolested.
Then we should change the law.
Are you out of your mind? Every politician in America is against prostitution, except when they're using them.
So where does Stoker come in?
He objects to the LAPD and the administration taking its cut.
Is everyone in on this?
Yeah, and that's the problem. From a little acorn does a large tree grow. He could bring the whole thing crashing down on us. Aren't you supposed to be working the...
Sir, do you know which robbery detectives are working the Army surplus theft from the Coolidge?
Caldwell and McManus. I saw Caldwell in the squad room not long ago if you want to speak to him.
Thank you, sir. We'll do that.
This way.
Odd cutscene here where we walked in, asked one question, then walked out. I don't think your boss is going to pretty much appreciate you just asking one question and leaving, but I guess in the old days that would probably be the only way you could do it. Although typically I would imagine you would chew the fat and have more conversation.
My sister's always been lucky.
Harry, you got a minute?
A lot of corruption
Cole,
going
anytime.
on.
You've been working the docks robbery on the SS Coolidge?
Yeah, that's right.
So how do you see it?
Inside job. Either the guys working the wharves or some of the guys on the ship.
What else was taken apart from the morphine?
Case of BARs, case of Thompsons, crate of Valor smokes.
Homicide just recovered 3 BARs and a mountain of cigarettes at a shooting at the 111 Club.
No kidding. I better get over there.
Do you have a copy of the manifest?
Yeah. Here it is.
All these giant books.
So, how do we connect the docks robbery to the mess at the 111 Club?
Well, is it Hendrix?
Need a drink.
One of them?
Again.
Those vice boys get any on the side?
500,000 cigarettes loose on the streets of LA.
Mouthpiece store strips off me at the grand jury. Case got thrown
This is
out.
the crate we
Now
recovered.
the DA wants my head.
Here's our backroom arsenal from the 111 Club. Enough to arm 3 companies.
I say we bust in
These
there
guys
and
are
find
from
the
my old
goddamn-
unit. They must have finally shipped home. Kelso, Sheldon, McGoldrick.
McGoldrick was on the boat?
Sure, we checked him out.
McGoldrick bought the 111 Club, Harry. His brains are all over the bar.
Looks like whoever stole the dope is getting muscled.
By whom?
Dragner or Cohen. They control the hop.
Detectives, KGPL's going crazy. Shots fired at 1384 North Bronson. Some guy with an automatic spraying a Hollywood bus. They want every car. Go!
This was getting boring, so I'm kind of glad that they put something here.
I've been in this job 20 years. I never fired.
Now, I guess map-wise, there wouldn't be a street crime right now. That would be silly. Locations-wise, the bus shooting is where we're going, so let's go and have him drive.
You know the way. You can drive.
This might be our final vice case. The morphine has been the running theme, but it feels like it needed a couple more missions in it. Also, it feels like it needed about 3 more missions that weren't related to the morphine, like intermixed in between it. I think you could do something with this concept of a game and take your time and release smaller elements over time. There is some problems with Cole as a character though, because he's acting a lot different than the way he was acting like 20 hours ago. So I need to get my aim on quickly. Well, that's not gonna work. No, let's not skip this section. So we'll run up here, and hopefully he won't see me, so he won't be able to shoot me.
LAPD, drop the gun now!
Let's see, there's no way up here.
Reinforcements are on the way. Cease and desist.
Where is he? There we go. Seemed like the game particularly programmed it so you couldn't shoot him from your first position. And this feels like they were trying to kill another one of the Marines. And see, you can see the cutscene here. Wouldn't have played out the same way if... Well, actually, I'm on a different building. So I guess I might have been able to go around back and shoot him that way too. Is this the guy we just saw at the restaurant? They were saying they couldn't cut the morphine in the tiny packets. That's true, but you could certainly take the morphine out of the packet, water it down.
Phone number and restaurant table.
Yeah, we just saw all of that. As far as I know, not having really any knowledge of morphine, I imagine you don't. It doesn't go bad just exposed to air immediately.
It's one of the BARs.
At the very least, they could have given instructions to water it down
I know that guy.
and inject it with the syringe.
He's one of the guys from the ship?
His name was on the manifest.
Looks like McGoldrick wasn't the only one to get a message.
Hey, Alvaro.
Hey, Lieutenant.
He's just a plain detective now, Chico.
Who's the jughead?
It's my partner, Roy Earl. We just want to find out what happened.
What happened is that someone took a shot at my bus. And then cops turned up and start treating me like I'm some sort of Pachuco punk. My people have been in California for over 300 years.
Very fucking admirable, Felix.
So, is he Indian? I guess.
You hear anything about the big heist on the Coolidge?
Yeah, I heard about it.
So what happened?
Not much. Cops came and interviewed me and all the other guys on the ship.
Can we prove that he stole anything, though?
I was down at the 111 Club this morning, waiting for the medical examiner to scrape Eddie McGoldrick's brains off the bar. You want to tell me anything about that?
I heard that Eddie came into some money. Too bad he didn't keep a low profile. It's a tough break to get through Okinawa and then have to buy it back home.
Who's shooting at you, Felix?
How the fuck do I know?
Let lie on that
The
one.
dead guy on the roof works for Mickey Cohen. Why would Cohen want you dead?
Man, I don't know anything about Mickey Cohen or any of those gangsters.
Interesting. Let's bring back the Coolidge heist, I guess, and see if that's the right answer.
You think I'd be dumb enough to get involved with people like that? No way.
So I was wrong about that?
You heard that Jack is in L.A.?
I saw his name on the manifest.
He's been here a couple of months. Sure glad to see you got over your wounds, Lieutenant. I mean, Detective.
Pretty cool customer.
He's been under fire before.
You buying his story?
Not for a minute.
Now, we can't get in the bus. Sadly. We can't make a phone call. Let's do that.
Say we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence.
Let's try to
Phelps,
drive the
badge
ambulance
1247.
over there. We may not have driven that before.
Detective?
I need an address on a Jack Kelso.
Just a second. Jack Kelso, apartment 4, 1408 North El Centro Avenue, Hollywood.
Thanks for your help.
So let's try this ambulance car.
How are we gonna look getting around in this thing, Cole?
Apparently we've already gotten in that car before. And it doesn't seem like there are any more cars worth trying to unlock over there. Let's look at the map. Again, no side quests. The game has decided to be oddly short on side quests for the past couple of levels. And we still only have 7 outfits. Let's go ahead and move this mouse out of the way as much as we can. And then let's look at the statistics here. We're still at story case 15, which is odd because then that means it feels like the last 2 missions weren't story cases. There's only 10 more street crimes, and if there are 2 per 6 remaining story cases, then that would be 12, and that would be more than the 10 that are remaining. We haven't found any more landmarks. We are making probably not enough progress finding all the cars. It seems very odd that we only have 6 of 13 newspapers. Very, very odd. We're current rank 19 and we're about halfway to getting to 20. And let's see, don't really care about most of this stuff. So if you want to see it, sorry. And we're at 21 hours in the gameplay, and I have to admit that I've had probably at this point my fill of LA Noire. And even if I had skipped trying to unlock a bunch of cars, even if I had skipped all the crime scene side missions, I think the story is not strong enough. I don't think the gameplay is strong enough. And I think there's just so much of it thrown at you in kind of a bad fashion that it's I'm just kind of full. It's like eating at a buffet. Most buffets, the food is not cooked great. You're not getting a $100 hamburger at a buffet. You're getting something that's made cheap to, at best, moderately well. And that's kind of what I feel like here, is that I've overfilled myself with mediocre gameplay, where I would have preferred 21 hours, or in all honesty, 20 hours of just good gameplay. Story that made sense, that was very linear and connected. None of this has anything to do with the Black Dahlia lipstick killer cases, so half of the game at the beginning didn't really matter at all. Anyways, it's been another 50 minutes, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.